Well, howdy there, you two. Sorry, I'm going to stop the voice. Sorry. No, so we're doing our climate change update. I wanted to just highlight some of these great activists, but I do have one criticism. And don't worry, all the right-wingers in the chat, oh, I hate protesting. Protesting so bad. Protesting literally made America what it is. Protesting literally created America. Dissent literally created America. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Unless it's for fascist right-wing authoritarianism, then protest is good. We've all heard it. But I just wanted to highlight some of these brave and amazing protesters. And look, in the past, I criticized the name, and I still think the name's a little stupid. Just Stop Oil. It's naive. Just Stop Oil. It's honestly not that fucking simple. Okay? You want to just stop heating people's homes? You want to just stop putting food in the grocery store? Right? You know what I mean? It's naive. It is. Just Stop Oil. No, right-wingers can suck my entire fucking dick. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. What, you think? Oh, you think I want to have a debate with an authoritarian fascist who wants to destroy democracy? Get the fuck out of motherfucking Dodge. Republicans and conservatives in the United States are hell-bent on destroying democracy and are hell-bent on taking my liberty and rights away. I am your fucking enemy. Back to my criticism about the name. Just Stop Oil. We have to wean ourselves off oil. We have to transition away from oil. We have to, deprioritize oil in our energy infrastructure. There is no such thing as just stopping oil. I mean, and I don't mean to be the guy in the well saying, oh, are you trying to make society better? Ha ha ha. But she's wearing a vest that's made from petroleum products. It's not that simple. With all that said, it's not going to transition. It's not going to change. It's not going to be deprioritized. If we allow our politicians to be bought by these industries, and allowed to just perpetuate, because what happens is, and we see it with like the car industry, right, with the stupid dealership bullshit, but they will create a market, and then the technology and things will make improvements that will make that market irrelevant or will force that market to change. But these oligarchs will pass laws and do all kinds of things to prevent innovation in their market because they're making money off the old system. And that's what we see with oil. These oil companies are trying to change our laws to stymie innovation, slow down new energy adoption, right? Whenever there's a wind project or a green energy project of any kind, you can bet there's an oil company who's paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to lobbyists and other specialists to try and kill that bill. So we have a billion-dollar industry that is subsidized in some cases, in some places, that is actively spending its ill-gotten gains, its billions of dollars, to stymie and slow down innovation that would make our planet better, that would make energy cheaper. Benefits after benefits. That's where the problem comes in. That's where the problem comes in. And that's why this woman is exactly correct. So you can shit on her. Oh, she's blocking traffic. She's getting in the way. She's being disruptive. She's right. With that said, the criticism I'm going to make is with the traffic blocking. And there's a good example I'm going to be showing here. Look, we got it. I think targeting specific people, politicians, energy companies, their businesses is more effective than inconveniencing regular Joes. You know what I mean? I really think if you're going to inconvenience regular Joes, you got to be smart about it, tactical about it. not just block traffic for a little bit, get on the news, and then, because we are seeing people assault Just Stop Oil. That doesn't make it right, but I don't know if pissing off regular Joes is a good idea.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm 22, and I'm so marching with Just Stop Oil today to demand that the government stop licensing new oil and gas projects because they are killing us.
Yes.
The government is actively deciding to kill the youth, and this is a war against the young. We have been repeatedly failed by governments and corporations. We can't trust anyone anymore, so we're having to do it ourselves. We're having to stand up and put our freedom and our life on the line. One of my best friends is currently in prison for demanding that the government stop new oil and gas. So we're here.
NG over here with the classic right-wing refrain. Oh, I would love to talk about not taking away your liberties if you would stop being so disruptive, ignoring the fact that literally every single protest that's been successful in the history of mankind had to be disruptive for it to be successful. Conservatives love to tone police, don't they? They love to tell you how, oh, I would stop being so authoritarian if you would stop being so loud. If you just let me walk all over you, then we'll have an honest debate. These people are fucking bad actors. They're dangerous. They're actively changing our laws to take away rights for women, to take away rights for gay people, to take away your right to own a home. The right wing is owned by the oligarchy. And what does the oligarchy say at Davos? You're going to own nothing and love it. The Republicans love companies like Blackwater that come by and buy up every fucking house in your neighborhood, jack up the price, make sure you can't afford it, and then charge you $4,000 a month rent because that's the rent everywhere because they own it. Republicans love that shit. So fuck people like NG over here. Oh, I would listen if you would just stop being so loud. Defeat it. I hate them.
In solidarity with Eddie, and we're here in solidarity with everyone who's experiencing the climate crisis.
They're such bad actors.
We're here because we have no choice, because otherwise there will just be more suffering and more death.
That's right. And I expected, there's always at least one right winger in here that's always saying the same thing. Oh, we would listen to you if you would just be nice to us. Meanwhile, they pass legislation that completely dehumanizes people, that turns them into others. We're talking about human beings. So, guys, there's no problem. I can't believe you would block traffic. Being a polite person who supports tyrants doesn't make you a good person. Makes you a quiet asshole. Makes you a silent fart. Okay? But your support of fucking tyrants says everything to me. You're my enemy. And I will do everything I can in my power to defeat you politically. You are trying to destroy me. Jordan Peterson said it's Marxism. Did you hear? Jordan Peterson said this is Marxism. It's Bolshevism. It's Bolshevik anarchism. Jisrael is 100% correct. You're 100% correct. The right wing and their support of legislation and policies that destroys America, destroys democracy, destroys individualism, destroys liberty, are the enemy of the people. No more pussyfooting around with this. They're changing the laws. They're laughing in our face. Steve Bannon gets on his fucking podcast every motherfucking day to laugh at you. Thinks you're a joke. Thinks he can walk all over you politically by taking over local elections and local politicians. Thinks you're a fucking joke here on the left. Are we going to prove them right? More Just Stop Oil protesters.
I'm here today outside Westminster Magistrates Court. I am supporting Holly, whose home had been
Another
raided
liberal Marxist, neo-Marxist,
for the heinous crime of holding fire extinguishers, confetti, some orange powder, and stuff like this, you know, stuff that's hardly really, you know.
Okay, look, look, the lefties, stop being whiny about it, okay? You're gonna do illegal shit, because I'll show you. They're spraying this orange stuff on these buildings. There's a reason why, okay? Look, just be like, yeah, they busted us. We're gonna keep doing it. Stop this pussyfooting around. No one, you know, accept that there's a certain amount of criminality with being disruptive. Don't embrace it, but also don't hide behind it with this kind of weird language either.
Going to do anybody any harm. And this criminal government, instead of dealing with the actual problems we are facing, this crisis we are in right now with the climate, they'd rather punish peaceful protesters with court, fines.
And this is what I'm talking about. The left needs to expect this pushback. And they need to plan accordingly. They need to expect that they're going to be arrested en masse. So you got to get the lawyers ready, right? You got to get the money going. You got to start fundraising, right? You got to expect this pushback. And yeah, it's going to be unfair. And just saying it's unfair doesn't make it any less effective. Okay, it will destroy movements. I saw it happen with Occupy. It was completely just dissected by the fucking U.S. intelligence agencies. It was a fucking game to them.
And other such means to silence us, but we will not be silencing. I'm here today.
All the same, though, I mostly agree with them. I'm just trying to say lefties need to sharpen up, right? If we're going to get this done, because we're up against straight fascism. We're up against straight, shameless fascism. These people will not be convinced. There is no argument. There's no amount of debate. There's no amount of information you can present them to change their minds. They're locked in. They've linked it to their personality, right? There's no changing minds. All we can do, I mean, there is changing minds on a local, in terms of like voter engagement level. Right? Because I believe that's where we need to be targeting, is these non-voters, these people that are completely checked out. Some more completely normal weather, guys. I mean, maybe it's hard to tell, right? It's like it's impossible to point to one climate incident and say, oh, well, this is the result of climate change. And bad actors will utilize that. Oh, you can't prove it's not climate change. How do you prove? There's not a one-to-one correlation. There's not a one-to-one correlation. So bad actors, they'll be saying that shit until fucking Miami is, you know, drowning, right? And there's like, you know, and you got ankle-deep water in downtown Times Square, New York. This ain't climate change. This would happen normally. Are we really going to let these bad actors in our life, these liars, these grifters, these terrible people that don't care? Are we really going to let them gaslight us into the fucking apocalypse? Right? Are we really going to let these people grift us into the fucking apocalypse? I'm asking you. You know what I mean? Are we really going to sit back and let them lie and lie? Oh, it's not real. It's not real. Not real. Whoa, 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 over and over and over again. We're just going to let it happen until... What? Until we're dealing with a refugee crisis, the likes of which we have never fucking seen in our life? You see it in my chat. There's never, you will never convince them. You will literally never convince them. Right? We'll be neck deep in water and they'll still be gaslighting us. Right? You know, our daily lives completely changed, irrevocably changed because of climate change, and they'll still be gaslighting us. It's like a job to them because it's their personality. It's who they are. They're defending who they are. They've wrapped their whole identity around falsehoods, and they're not letting go. It's ice, Zeoduke. It's ice. Their whole life, personality, everything goes through this political filter that was created for them. To let it go would be to let go who they are as an individual. And they gaslight and gaslight and gaslight and gaslight. Wanted to point out, and here talk about gaslighting. Expect a massive wave of gaslighters from the right wingers in the chat about this. By the way, right wingers, thank you so much for the engagement, making my channel better with your constant attempts at gaslighting, at changing the narrative that I'm presenting right in front of you. Literally presenting a reality right in front of you, and you're literally hard at work typing away, trying to deny it. Trying to, oh, it's not real. Don't believe your lying eyes. That's not real. That's not real. Yesterday's North Atlantic sea surface temperature anomaly is code UFB, a record 1.5 Celsius, above the 1991-2020 mean, the most over average of any day measured this year. And the running joke is getting old, but yes, I will probably have to extend the y-axis again tomorrow. So here we have normal. See the blue lines? Can you get here? I'll help explain this to the assholes in the chat. So these blue lines is what was normal. Okay, this is the new reality. This little red line here. That's bad. That's bad. Oh, let me guess. The scientist just wanted money. He made this up because he wanted money. Or something. Fake news. Why would I believe this? It's from a liberal source, right? I don't agree with that, Tisriel. I haven't seen any correlation, right? I haven't really seen climate change go down, and I haven't really seen warmongering go down. So I think that's just more of a coincidence that both those things just continue to happen. Okay. I mean, maybe it is possible that war. I mean, think of all the explosions, all the shit blowing up in Russia, all that carbon being released, all that extra carbon being released, all that diesel being burned with all these tanks running around. Welcome back, OG Lee, by the way. But talk about bad actors in the chat, and this is related to climate. Newly minted 6th member of the Beach Boys, Kyle Kulinski, makes some good points, because what do the bad actors say? Both sides, give up, embrace nihilism, both sides. Republicans and Democrats are just basically the same exact, and you should just give up. I've given up, so you should give up too. That'd make me feel better about my bad choice if other people would join me. Right? You give up, right? You're not going to vote or participate in this anymore, right? Because, like, both sides. And look, Biden is choking. Biden is choking. His Build Back Better is in the motherfucking toilet, right? The Voting Rights Act in the motherfucking toilet, right? I got more COVID relief money from Trump than I did Biden. Okay, the hits keep on hitting. With that said, there's a difference when you get a right winger in office versus when you get a left winger in office, a neoliberal in office. And here's a handy list of those from pop sensation Kyle Kulinski.
But then when he got into office, like, I was genuinely pleasantly surprised to see he did some student loan debt reduction. He did the $1,400 stimulus checks. He said it was going to be $2,000. That was a lie, but we got $1,400, which was half decent in the inflation.
Kyle, I was means tested out of that, bud. I didn't get that money. And I'm not exactly motherfucking money bags over here.
Reduction Act, they overruled the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court said the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, is not allowed to do environmental protection. And so Biden and the Democrats slipped it into the IRA that we're redefining carbon emissions as a pollutant. So now the EPA can regulate it again, basically saving the entire fight against climate change by that one simple procedural trick, which was super base, one of the most base things I've ever seen.
No, Kyle. 30-year-olds and above are not allowed to say the word based. I'm sorry, there's a rule somewhere. There's like a memo. I fucking threw it away or something. I got the memo. It was like a couple of years ago. 30-somethings are actually not allowed to use the word based. There's some fucking technicality or something, man. That's probably why it sounds terrible every time I hear a 30-something say based. But yeah, you can't. No, it starts with a B. He's not allowed to use the B word. Yeah. Like a little piece of my soul turns to dust every time I hear Kyle Kulinski say based. I don't know what it is.
Any Democrat in the modern era do. He raised the minimum wage for federal employees and federal contractors through executive order, which is about 400,000 workers to $15 an hour. I definitely didn't expect him to do that. I didn't expect him to do project labor agreements, which, 200,000 union workers get higher wages.
Wow, 200,000. Wow. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, there's some good things here, right? But man, the potential for it to be so much more impactful is always there, right? And it's this acceptance that we're just going to get almost nothing. And the things that we are going to get are going to be means tested into oblivion. And that's just the only way we can get things done, right? Meanwhile, FDR over here showing us how to really do it.
As a result of that, I didn't expect him to onshore 200,000 jobs when Trump had offshored hundreds of thousands of jobs. I didn't expect
hundreds of thousands of jobs. I'm sorry, on the national scale is not a fucking lie. That's a policy failure in my eye. You're the president of the goddamn United States. You had a supermajority for over a year, and you're over here talking about a couple 100,000 jobs. I'm happy for those couple 100,000 folks. But what a fucking joke. That's the extent of your power?
Expect him to do even the mild gun reform that he did, where we have like some funding for red flag laws and we got rid of the boyfriend loophole. So if you have like a domestic abuser boyfriend, that you can legally take their guns now if they're a threat. I didn't expect, Ketanji Brown Jackson, I think, is a great Supreme Court justice. She was put on the court. We have the NLRB is genuinely pro-labor. We wouldn't have seen this increase in Amazon unionization and Starbucks unionization if it wasn't for that.
That's a good point. At the same time, let's not pretend Joe Biden's Mr. Pro-Union either. But at the same time, he's more pro-union than a right-winger, right? Who prides himself on destroying unions that personally benefit right-wingers, right-wing constituents.
He pulled out of Afghanistan, which I thought was super based, and then he actually...
Oh, stop it! Stop! Yes. Okay. Yes. Afghanistan. He pulled out. Great. It was a complete fucking boondoggle. Made a, I'm sorry, wrong button. Complete fucking boondoggle. I was actually watching a 30-minute special that ABC put out in the 70s that went through all of their Vietnam coverage from the beginning of the fall of Saigon. And I got to say, the similarities are insane. Right. I mean, the how the evacuation happened, how it was like there was some kind of pretense that we were going to save a bunch of Vietnamese people and we were going to extract a bunch of Vietnamese people. That, we got some out, but the concern was not that. It's just the similarities are striking, and it's really interesting to me that lefties like number one pop sensation Kyle Kulinski over here can't find the nuance to say, I agree with pulling out of Afghanistan, but I don't agree with how that was done. Now, I'm not watching Kyle Kulinski every single day, so maybe he is doing that, and maybe he'll do that in 1 second once I play the video here, but I don't hear enough of that. I don't hear enough of that. Kissing Gonzo, I mean, what we handed over whatever what we could have taken. We had bases established, right? We basically had safe spaces deep in Afghanistan established. We could have, for like 2 or 3 months, coordinated a massive evacuation of people that didn't want to live under the Taliban, citizens that were friendly to the United States, women and children that were going to American-funded schools, women and children that were going to American-funded colleges, right? We were doing all these things. I believe in Kabul is where we were doing them. It was like the major city center, right? Like Saigon, right? And we could have extracted those people. We could have helped those people. We could have helped those people become American citizens and gave them a better life and say, look, we're not going to be able to save your country, but we can save you. We didn't do any of that. We left in the middle of the night like a one-night stand. We abandoned a whole air base and didn't even tell the Afghanistan general of the base. Yeah, we're leaving. We're gone. We're gone, dude. It was an absolute shambles. It would, if that is the American standard for an extraction from a country that we meddled in for 20 years, then God help us all. Then God help us all, right? It really does show the cynicism of the entire project from beginning to end, doesn't it? How little we actually cared about the Afghanistan people, right? Yeah, fucking we're fucking done with this. Bye. See ya. All right, fine. You don't want our help? Fine. Bye. Fuck you, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck you, Uncle Sam. We completely fucked Afghanistan. We gave them a bunch of promises, threw a bunch of money around, gave a bunch of warlords a bunch of weapons, got a bunch of fucking people killed, and then bailed in the middle of the night. Yes, we should have gotten out of Afghanistan, but man, we could have done those people a little better. We didn't have to fuck over the entire country on the way out. The little mini genocide at the last minute was a nice touch too. Blowing up a U.S. loving aid worker and a bunch of kids. So maybe he does make this critique on his show, and because he's just doing a recap. Because yes, technically I agree with the Afghanistan pullout. Technically I agree. Because yes, we got to get out of Iraq too. Look, and if you put a gun to my head and you say the only way we're going to get out of Iraq is this sloppy omni shambles where a bunch of people get abandoned and terrorists take over the entire country without a single fucking shred of resistance. You put a gun to my head and you say it's either that or U.S. occupation. Which one you going to do? Yeah, okay, I'll pick the independence. Not gonna be happy about it though.
So he told the media to suck his nuts as he did it when they were like flipping out over it. And he took a hit in the polls as a result of it because they hit him so fucking hard.
Why did he take a hit in the polls, Kyle? Was it the extraction or was it the fact that people were clawing onto the fucking plane and falling off of it, Kyle? What you got, fucking bleach on your brain? Some of that shit soaked through? There was a good goddamn reason why the press was fucking bad, Kyle.
Hard on that, and he went down in the polls, but he pulled out and said, no, I'm not going to go back in.
It wasn't the act of leaving that was giving him the bad press, Kyle.
$1 corporate minimum wage, billions of dollars for Made in America green jobs, which was part of the IRA, the PACT Act, which gave health care to toxic burn pit victims who are veterans.
I'm sorry, Nidnack. I'm sorry. Sorry, Kyle.
Massively reducing the drone war.
Yeah. The overall premise of what he's saying, I agree with, which is, hey, there is a clear difference between neoliberals and conservative fascists, right? And what the premise, apparently what this got, he started this. I was probably too busy shitting on him to fucking for you to hear it. But he said he regretted not voting for Joe Biden because he didn't vote Joe Biden. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out. I wanted to be fair to the argument, but look, he was just he was he's got to keep it snappy. Maybe on his regular show, he's making a more nuanced argument about the Afghanistan pullout, right? Maybe that's the case. But I do find this really interesting that he mentions the press shitting on him for that decision, but doesn't mention why the press might have been shitting on him. Okay, I can't even show you the footage. Okay, there are people clawing to the wheels and then falling out of the sky. You know, as the final plane left Saigon, I mean Kabul or whatever final town we were in. So here's that orange stuff that the Just Stop Oil guy was like, oh, I can't believe the police would arrest us. Look, man, just own it. You got busted. You should have, wait, it still says world news. No one told me I've switched to climate news this long. Oh my God. This is what we call a professional news operation around here. Democracy is non-negotiable. I just want to say, just own it. Look, okay, you guys are being disruptive. You know, you don't have to like it, right? You don't have to be like, look, we don't want to be out here doing this kind of stuff, but this is an emergency. We really need to get this point out here. Okay, we're desperate. We're desperate for people to start paying attention, and this is why we're resorting to these actions, right? Don't be like, yeah, because I do it because I love throwing paint on things, right? Like, that's obviously not the right angle, right? But this whole like, oh, I can't believe the police would arrest us, and we just had some orange stuff. It's like, come on, man. Come on, man. Own it. You got to own it a little bit. Ooh, get the bike. Yeah, get the bike. Oh, she missed the bike. I guess the bike is a green thing. Huh? It's an electric battery bike. That would have been a bad look if she blasted the bike. Here I'm the guy that just wants to spray paint on things. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. No, but this is a green solution. That actually would have been bad. I think it is paint, something like that. I'm not sure what it is. It's not a chemical. It's something. It's probably not. It's probably like you know what it is? It's Kraft macaroni and cheese. That's what it is. Okay? It's everyone's favorite, delicious, warm, creamy, cheesy meal. Kraft macaroni and cheese. That's what it is. Okay? It's Garbage Fuel. Garbage Fuel is, of course, the #1 drink mix company in the world. Garbage Fuel fully supports spraying garbage fuel. Spraying garbage fuel around. Do not drink garbage fuel. Do not drink garbage fuel, especially if it's from a hose. Hot dog schmegma. Oh, dang, dude. Makes me want some mac and cheese. It doesn't really, I don't know if it's paint or not. I don't know. Security guard. Security guard. But no, I mean, this is fine. This is great because, you know, I love this, right? You're not blocking traffic. You're not pissing off regular Joes. You're targeting specifically, right? The people doing the deed, doing the evil, right? Who is this thing? You know, I bet you someone just literally who rented this bike, they were like, yeah, whatever. They wrote it anyway. They get there, they're like, oh shit, dude, it's covered in macaroni cheese. Ah shit, who cares? He just rides away on it. By the way, to the people shitting on these, you have no idea what you're missing. These are a lot of fun. You want to get to know a city, like, you know, get to know it a little better. Hop on one of these. I'm serious. It is you will have the time of your life. You will have the time of your life on one of these riding around the city. It's a lot of fun. All right. We're just kind of blasting through these here. It's, you know, guys, it's really happening. Okay. The climate crisis is spiraling out of control. Thousands of fish are washing up dead in the Gulf of Mexico because the water is too hot to hold oxygen. Okay. And it's, you know, if we weren't polluting the climate and this kind of stuff, you know, this kind of stuff would still happen once in a while. These weather anomalies, they happened all throughout history. What we're seeing because of climate change is these climate anomalies, you know, happening more frequently. And when they do happen, they're larger. They're catalyzed by climate change. They're expanded. right? We you know, La Nina and El Nino are natural things that, you know, that happen with climate, but they're catalyzed by climate change, that making their effects more dramatic. Places where they would be a little extra cooler are going to be much more cooler. Places that would be a little hotter are going to be much more hotter. Sorry, I'm on the lookout for thieves. Someone stole my table. Someone stole the table from my fucking front porch. I don't have a front porch, but I have like a front area, you know, like my front door. Had like a nice little table there with my chairs. Fucking stole them. Fucking stole it. I muted myself somehow. They stole my table. Just Stop Oil March for no new oil in Parliament Square. That was just an image. It was not a video. But so, I mean, here's the thing about protests like this is that, okay, you know, you show up, you protest for a couple hours, maybe you get on the news, maybe not. News agencies will intentionally not broadcast this because they don't want it to be effective, right? And look at how many people, look at how, what, you know, look at how many people, man, right? So, I mean, look, it's, this is why you need to follow my 3-step program to create political change. This is not enough to stop oil. This is not enough. Step 1, inform yourself. Step 2, join a progressive political organization. Here you go. Sign up. Step 3, put in the work. Show up. And if you can't show up, donate. All right? Steve Bannon tells his audience to donate every single fucking day. Charlie Kirk runs an entire organization dedicated to converting this country into a theocratic fascism called TPUSA. And he tells his audience every single day, you got to donate, participate, show up and march. What happened amongst the left where this stopped being the norm? Hey, man, look, you know, if that gets you on the news, right? If that gets you on the BBC, mac and cheese it up. Mac and cheese it up. Yeah, Kirk is a ding-dong, but guess what? He's a ding-dong with a plan, and he's organizing, and he's winning. They're winning. Local elections, you know, school boards, all these places where you still get to voice some modicum of democracy. They're drowning out left narratives in those spaces. Ensuring that the next attempt at stealing the election is going to be successful because there's enough partisans installed in the process that will, right, make it happen. Find me the votes. They're doing it right in front of us. I mean, like literally right in front of us. They're doing it on their podcast. They're planning and telling their audience how to do it, how to organize, how to, you know, here's the form letter to send. Here's the script you take to the school board meeting. I'm worried about child pedophilia with LGBTQ people, and I think kitty litter should not be allowed in the classrooms. Okay, where's the left? Where's the left? This shit, if there's nothing to challenge it, it passes, it goes through, and that becomes the new normal without our resistance to it. And that's what this looks like. Yes, of course I have. I'm currently in a citizenship transition. Things are a little different, but even in that state, I did go to the anti-convoy protests. Kissing Gonzo, you're the real hero. Can someone, I mean, you know, some heroes sacrifice, some heroes really sacrifice. It's amazing. I'm inspired. We need more. We need more, folks. Bar none. Easy, 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 right? It's not easy though. It's not easy. But here you go. This is why blocking traffic, it's a double-edged sword. And if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. You better have the organization. Davey's going to love this segment. Welcome back, Davey. Kissing Gonzo, to push back on your hilarious comedy, I would like to respond by saying you should try in bigger ways. Little ways are good, but step outside your bubble and try some big ways. Show up to that protest. You feel nervous. You put yourself out there. You're like, wow, I'm here. I'm standing for this. I'm representing this. I'm holding the sign, right? I'm disrupting traffic. Like, I'm technically breaking the law right now, right? It's liberating. But here's the double-edged sword. If you're part of a protest that is going to be blocking traffic, you need to be ready for this. You need to be ready to let pregnant people through, emergency vehicles through. You need to have this understood between, you know what I mean? You got to have some real tight organization. You got to pick a spot where people are going to be able to drive around you, right? Because I know, it's not effective unless we pick like a major area and make it like super disruptive. Look, man, you're going to be pissing off regular Joes. And what does the media do? The media loves covering this because what do? They stick a camera right there and say, look at how much they're disrupting everybody. Look, everyone's life is being disrupted by these fucking hippies. It works. It works. And here we have a situation, of course it would happen. Just Stop Oil protesters stop a woman trying to get her newborn baby to the hospital. It's not a good look. You got to have that shit locked down. Those protesters should have been ready for this scenario. Hey, folks, we got a pregnant person, and then they break up the protest, let traffic through, and then they start again at a later time. Hey, we got an ambulance, guys. Ambulance protocol. We trained for this. That's the kind of organization the left needs to succeed. Straight up. All right, smoke your doobies all day. I know I do. All right, but you got to have that shit locked down if you're going to be doing shit like this. So, newborn baby to the hospital. Okay, she's saying she's got the baby in the car. Protests don't work unless they're disruptive. But if you're going to be disruptive, you got to come with a plan. These people don't have a plan for this. They don't have a plan for this, and that is on the left. That is on the protesters. They need to have a plan for this. If they just got out of the way, this guy right here, this guy's the problem, man. He's the organizer right here, and he's like, I ignore her. No, you wrong, homie. You wrong, dude. You damn wrong. Look, you don't need to think. Not every protest has to be a motherfucking masterpiece of brilliant planning, right? Sometimes it's just showing up with a can of macaroni cheese and spraying it on a wall and then walking away. Right, that doesn't require master suite level fucking planning here. But of course, because they don't support they think climate change is a fucking hoax. The person D-Live, because they think climate change is a fucking hoax. Oh yeah, protesting is bad unless it's for tyrannical authoritarianism. Right? Yeah, convoys. Yeah, January 6th. Yeah. But no, dude. You need to have a plan. Hey, guys, we got a pregnant person. We got a baby. All right, we got to get through. I understand a person's like, hey, I got to get through. I got to take a big shit. It's like, okay, well, I'm sorry. We're not going to, honk your horn, dude. We're not going to listen to that. But like, bro, the baby stuff, come on, man. It's a Nissan Leaf too, isn't it? Oh, that hurts. Now that is an interesting thing. You let through EVs and electric vehicles. You let them through, but you try to block the gas ones. that would take so much organization, and people would probably get hurt, because then people would try to, like, because you open up a, because here's what would happen. They here, and maybe this is what this guy is trying to prevent here, because if you open up a path, everyone's immediately going to try to go into it. You know, that sure, that one person's going to get through, and then everyone else is going to try to get, you know, they're going to be like, they're going to hit the gas. And it's going to be dangerous. But okay, left, that's on you. That's on you, protesters. You should have rehearsed this. You should have had this planned. You're making us look like fools out here.
What kind of people are you?
Blue hair gets a free pass.
This woman has a real newborn baby, guys.
You make more pollution. If somebody's going to the hospital, it's illegal. It's illegal.
You have to be disruptive to be effective, but you have to be smart about how you're being disruptive. You have to. You have to be disruptive to be effective. But if you're going to be disruptive, you have to be strategic about it, because it's a double-edged sword out there. Okay? The media can't wait to take images and video and make that your entire movement. That needs to be expected. That is what they're waiting to do. That's what they want to do. They want to take that and say, see, and they've done it successfully in the United States. You can't talk about BLM. Watch this. I'm gonna talk about BLM. I like BLM. I think BLM's great. I think the actions of BLM have been really, really great. Watch how the right wingers react to this. Watch there's one word. Welcome back, El Rakabi. There's one word that they're going to use instead of protest. Wait, right? I think BLM has been really, really great. Yeah, there's been a little violence, but you know, I think overall, you know, the controversy with the BLM movement, of course, that's one thing. But I think the protesting that they've been doing, all the protesting that they've been doing across the nation has been really, really good and ultimately beneficial to people of color. And I think ultimately protest movements in general, right? All the protesting that they're doing. Last little bit of news here. Nebulous. Don't get yourself twisted. You're not. Are you gonna vote for politicians that are going to make, or that are going to fix climate change? Nebulous. Were you ever planning on doing that? Who are you fucking kidding, dude? Who are you kidding? Were you ever going to support politicians that were going to do anything about climate change? Be honest with us, man. Not that important, but thought it's good. There it is. There it is. That's exactly what I'm talking about. There it is. All it took is just a little time, right? All it took was just a little bit of time. No, you see, the right wing need protesting to be riots. You see, that was the word that I was avoiding because I was waiting for the right wing to use it. Right wing need, BLM especially, all protests are riots. They're all riots. Of course, 90% of the BLM protests were peaceful. 90% of the BLM protests were peaceful with no property damage. But they're all riots. They're all riots. Black people, Antifa. Black people, Antifa. They're so fucking predictable. Can't figure out what side I want my hair on. They're so fucking predictable. And there's a clear reason, but what I'm trying to say, there's a clear reason why they're doing what they're doing, why they are disingenuously saying all protesting is rioting. Because they need to justify the violence they're going to use against the protests that are going to spring up against their authoritarianism. It's pre-staging. It's pre-staging for this time in history where they're going to have to use violence to push back against the freedom, democracy-loving Americans that are going to vehemently disagree with what they have planned for the country when they are installed in power. Shut the fuck up, NG. I mean, I played you like a motherfucking fiddle, dude. Sit the fuck down. You are an absolute embarrassment. You might as well be an AI script. You have said 0 original things this entire time you're here. Take your kinder, gentle conservatism and gobble my entire fucking package, bitch. Holy shit. Anime. Climate records are not crap. Let's get into it. Climate records tumble, leaving Earth in uncharted territory, said scientists. I think this one is from Woke Patriot, by the way, so thank you very much, Woke Patriot. A series of climate records on temperature, ocean heat, and Antarctica sea ice have alarmed some scientists who say their speed and timing is unprecedented. Dangerous heat waves in Europe could break for the records, the UN says. Dangerous heat waves in Europe could break the record further, the UN says. It's hard to immediately link these events to climate change because weather and oceans are so complex. See? It's not real. See? Right, your own article says it's not real. Your own source, liberal. Gotcha, Ben Shapiro, gotcha. Liberal destroyed, stamp. Liberal destroyed. My dick is so rugged. Studies are underway, but scientists already fear some worst-case scenarios are unfolding. Quote, I'm not aware of a similar period when all parts of the climate system were in record-breaking or abnormal territory. No biggie. Thomas Smith, an environmental geographer at London School of Economics, says, look at this liberal over here with his fucking agenda, right? Because he wants to get a bunch of fucking free money, right? Saying climate change is real. And then the liberals just hand out a bunch of free money. That's how it works. Quote, the Earth is in uncharted territory now due to global warming from burning fossil fuels. Prove it. As well as heat from the first El Nino, a warming natural weather system since 2018, says Imperial College London climate scientist lecturer Dr. Paolo Seppi, who is 100% a limousine liberal who wants to lie to everybody so that he can get money. Here are 4 climate records broken so far this summer. The hottest days on record, the hottest June on record globally, extreme marine heat waves, record low Antarctic sea ice, and what they tell us. Hottest day on record globally. Fake news. Fake news. See, this is normal. This is our new normal. This used to be normal. This is our new normal. Wow, guys, isn't it crazy? All the bad acting right-wing conservatives all agree with themselves. Hey guys, why don't you go to a different fucking stream and get the fuck out of my fucking channel? Do I have to actually ban you to get some goddamn peace and quiet? You think for one fucking second anyone wants to hear what your fucking stale-ass Rush Limbaugh fucking opinions are? You think anybody's impressed? You think anybody wants to hear that shit? Look at Tar Mantis over here. You think Tar Mantis is a motherfucking PhD in this shit? You think Tar Mantis is a motherfucking doctor in this shit? Here he is. Oh, that's not real. That's not real. I jerk off every day to anime, and I know it's not real. You look at that. You're not a motherfucking climate scientist. You are an embarrassment. You are an embarrassment that is too used to being on the internet anonymously. You walk into the real world with that mentality, and you would be slapped into oblivion. I know everything. I have the right opinion about everything. I don't need a doctorate to know what I'm talking about. You are an embarrassment. You are an embarrassment. World experiences hottest day ever recorded in July, breaking the global average temperature record set in 2016. Doesn't matter. I know better. Average global temperature dropped 17 Celsius for the first time, reaching 17.8 Celsius on 6th of July, according to EU climate monitoring service Copernicus. Copernicus, of course, was, one of the most preeminent scientists of his time, and I'm sure people like Tar Mantis knew a whole lot more than Copernicus did. Ongoing emissions from burning fossil fuels like oil, coal, and gas are behind the planet's warming trend. Didn't you hear what Tar Mantis had to say? This is exactly what was forecast to happen in a world warmed by more greenhouse gases, says climate scientist Dr. Frederick Otto from Imperial College London. Quote, humans are 100% behind the upward trend, she says. Yeah, but Tarmantis, some asshole on the internet who's more skilled at masturbating than literally any other thing in the world, disagrees. Quote, if I'm surprised by anything, it's that we're seeing the records broken in June, so earlier in the year. El Nino normally doesn't really have a global impact until 5 or 6 months into the phase, Dr. Smith said. El Nino is the world's most powerful natural occurring climate fluctuation. It brings warmer water to the surface in the tropical Pacific, pushing warmer air into the atmosphere. It normally increases global air temperatures. So here we go. This is another chart that Tarmantis, disagrees with. Yeah, I did my own research. And it turns out, anime titties. Let's look at that. The chart is fake. You don't even know what you're looking at. You literally don't even know what you're looking at. Why are you like, is this some attempt to make me like look good? Are you trying to are you playing some kind of pretend conservative and you're trying to help the stream by making me look really awesome? I guess the kiddies would say based. I'm a 35-year-old beast. People in the chat, if you would like me to ban Tarmantis, if I see 5 1s in the chat, I will ban Tarmantis. Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat if you would like me to ban Tarmantis. The average global temperature in June this year was 1.4 C, above the typical June in pre-industrial period. I'm going to count NGs. And I'm going to count the king as well. Looks like you're getting banned, buddy. No, I'm kidding. I won't count those, but I will time you out because you're very annoying. It's not the Tarmantis show. I actually would like to get done with the climate segment here so I can move on. Asked if summer 2023 is what he would have forecasted a decade ago, Dr. Smith says that climate models are good at predicting long-term trends, but less good at forecasting the next 10 years. I guess that's where Tarmantis comes in, the next 10 years. I don't know. You annoy me. That's why. Models from the 1990s pretty much put us where we are today. But to have an idea about what the next 10 years would look like exactly would be very difficult, he says. Things aren't going to cool down, he added. You get what you fucking deserve. I'm just fucking with you. I don't know. I'm just fucking with you, king of Kakistan. I'm just get me so riled up. They get me so triggered. All these goddamn conservatives get me so goddamn triggered. I just want free health care for everybody. I just want my LGBTQ son to be loved like everyone else is loved. Anyway, if you want to read the rest of this information here, not that you want to, not that you care, not that anyone's going to do a goddamn thing about it, right? But yeah, it's really happening. If you are a millennial, Zoomer, or Alpha generation, this is your problem. Thank you, King. Sounds like you've been here before. So it's really happening. It's not a joke. Don't believe the gaslighters, right? Literally, people without doctorates, people who are not in climate science, look at charts and go, it's fake. And then idiots like Panda Man agree with them because it agrees with their political agenda. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine denying science because you like a politician? How fucking pathetic you have to be. Right? How pathetic is that? You would, oh, it's fake news. Some politician that I like disagrees with that, and it doesn't align with my political agenda. So thank you very much, YouTube. Have yourself a good day.